Welcome to this Brigid Hearthfire Envision, a deep yin journey. So, this practice was created with the Winter Solstice, Sagittarius new moon, transition into Capricorn season energy in mind. However, I also wanted to add this more timeless quality in that if you find this video 6 months, a year from now, that it still can be beneficial to you. So I really wanted to base this more on any time that you're ready to make a change in your life. You want to get clear on a new direction. You want to work with the goddess Brigid in assisting you from transitioning from one season of your life into another, that you can. You know, you don't have to wait for a certain time of year or a season or certain astrological event to take place before you make a change. You can do it anytime you want. 3 o'clock in the afternoon on a Wednesday is fine. However, if I mention these things throughout our practice today, that is why. So I just want to preface that before we even begin. Now, if you're not familiar with who Brigid is, she is a Celtic goddess. She is a triple-headed goddess. So she represents the maiden mother crone. She is associated with smithcraft, so turning raw material into something enduring. I have my little notes written here. She's a threshold goddess and honored at turning points, so she's seasonal. Typically, traditionally, she's celebrated during Imbolc, which is time end of January into February timeframe. However, if you're part of my emailing list, you'll know that we've been working. Well, she was the goddess of the month for December, and I did that because here in the western part of the world, it's a darker time of year, and with the days being shorter, we're all kind of going inward. A lot of us are actually having to be inside more because it's colder out, and that can be kind of depressing for some people, and it can also be really inspiring for others. And I typically love it because I'm like, it can really ignite you if you want it, right? It's that you're being planted, not buried energy. So it's a great time to get clear on like, okay, well, what do I want to bring forward going into the new year ahead or into this next season of my life, right? Which here would be spring. But again, that could be metaphorical for you. So I apologize. I have talking buttons and my dog just pressed the go for a ride button. So if you heard that, my apologies. But as I was saying, so for you might be in a metaphorical darkness, and by that it could be a time of just more confusion and not necessarily like depression. It could just be like, where do I want to go? Or maybe you're ready to clear out a certain belief that you've had, or just get more clear on where you're headed next, a new season, a new transition. So hopefully that's clear enough. I've really jabbered on about that long enough, I think. So Brigid never asks us to rush the fire. She only ever asks us to tend to it. She, to me, would be more of the spark before this is what I wrote. Brigid sits where spark becomes direction, right? So she's that threshold. So it's like she creates the spark, and then kind of like, I don't want to say she guides you through it. It's almost like she reminds you to keep tending it. Does that make sense? So I really wanted to just kind of invoke her energy today. It's not necessarily about calling upon her. Of course, you're welcome to if that's a part of your practice. I know I love doing that, but it's more about invoking that energy of how can I cultivate that within myself, within my own life, of tending to my inner fire, right? How can I tend to my own spark of creativity and maintain that throughout this season of my life, or the coming season of my life, or throughout the year itself in general, right? So throughout this practice, you might decide you'd like to have some props. You don't necessarily have to. I do have a couple of blocks. I might show with props, I might not. I haven't actually filmed the practice yet, so stay tuned. But you might decide you'd like to have some. So we will do swan pose. Sometimes it's nice to have a little support underneath the hip. If you don't have, yoga blocks or a bolster or yoga blankets, feel free to grab a cushion or throw a pillow from your couch. You can also grab books from your bookcase, and that can serve as a block. We're also going to do dragon pose at one point, and sometimes you can prop your hands up on the block to kind of take out the intensity of that. It's kind of like a low lunge essentially, except your hands are on the inside of your feet or your foot, if you're not familiar with what dragon pose is. Additionally, you could also come down onto your forearms. But if you're not ready to go all the way down onto your mat on your forearms, having a little support, before you get down to the mat can also be helpful. Not necessary, but, if you decide you want to, you can. With this class, we are working with what traditional Chinese medicine would call the wood element. So each of these shapes contributes to the wood element, and the wood element connects with the liver and the gallbladder meridian lines. So the wood element is connected with vision, growth, direction, and purpose in traditional Chinese medicine. Sagittarius relies on vision, wood, to move, and then Capricorn relies on structure, wood, to know where it's going, okay? And then we also have the knowing that fire without wood would lead to burnout, and then earth without wood would lead to stagnation. There wouldn't be growth, right? So I will, of course, give a little bit of more info as we move through our practice together with each of the shapes. But, each shape that we take or that we get into together, they will be supportive of the liver and the gallbladder meridian lines to help with the vision, with clear decision making, and to, of course, help you in transitioning into this next version of yourself, okay? So let's talk about the journal prompts. We'll get into those in just a moment. I did want to also say you do not have to do the journal prompts first. You can come back and do them after practice if that feels better to you. The timestamps are going to be in the description box below. So let's get into the journal prompts and we'll go from there. All right, so the journal prompts. I have 4 of them for you. Feel free to write them down as I say them. You can always pause me, or I do have them listed in the description box below. So whatever you want to do, it's totally fine with me. And then this is also followed up with a 5-minute free write. Now, the sound that you're listening to or that you will hear is the 528 hertz frequency. Again, if you're a part of my emailing list, this sound might be familiar to you. It is a part of the Sacred Sound Vault. Now, this is not the subliminal that you received. This is actually just the frequency. There's no subliminal with it. I will never do that. If I ever do a subliminal, you will know there's something in the subliminal. So heads up to you, the viewer, there's nothing extra in there. And I'm not telling you like, I'm your favorite yoga teacher. I'm your favorite yoga teacher on the internet. I'm not sneaky like that. So anyway, the 528 hertz frequency is the frequency for manifestation and change, also transformation. But there's more info about it also in the description box. So clearly everything is down there in the description box, okay? All right, so let's talk about the journal prompts. For question number 1, it is, what vision is asking to be tended to this season or year? Okay, so season of your life or for the year ahead. Depends on when you're seeing this video, when you're doing this practice, okay? Question number 2, what am I ready to commit to over the long haul? What am I ready to commit to over the long haul? Question number 3, where have I burned myself out trying to force growth? Where have I burned myself out trying to force growth? So we have to remember, like, Brigid is associated with smith crafting. So that can mean, you know, you have to kind of, with smith crafting, there's extra materials that have to be burned away. You can't use the whole kit and caboodle, right? You have to, some of it has to go when you're creating your beautiful work of art. And the 4th question is, what would it look like to build slowly and with devotion? Like, what would my life look like? Whatever you want to use there is fine, but what would it look like to build slowly and with devotion? So those are your journal prompts. It's going to cut to your 5-minute free right now. Have fun. I will see you back on your yoga mat. We're going to start in child's pose. So take your time and I'll meet you there in child's pose. See you soon. Hopefully you are in the child's pose of your choice, and perhaps that's knees spread wide, body folded down, or torso folded down the center line, arms straight out in front. Or maybe that's legs together, rounded spine and forehead drawn toward the floor or the mat beneath. You might also decide here that you'd like to place, again, a block or pillow from the couch or whatever the case may be, and rest the forehead down if that's more beneficial to you today. We will be here for 3 minutes, just taking a few grounding breaths. If you don't have any props available, you can always place 2 fists in front and rest the forehead down. Or you can stack the hands on top of each other and just rest the head. And just tuning into the breath here. And centering the body and the mind. And as you breathe in, feeling the belly as it expands. And drawing the air in. And exhaling, feeling the breath as it leaves. And just being with that energy for a few more breaths, that grounding, stillness, and the recognition of that inner spark before the movement. That spark that happens before the energy of movement. If you would like to link the breath with the movement, we'll take 1 deep breath in together and exhale. Gently either walk the hands back or slowly round up. Find your way all the way up into a tabletop pose. From here, planting the hands, rooting down through the palms of the hands, fingers spread wide. Wrists directly under shoulders, knees directly under hips. We'll take a deep breath in here and then exhale, tilt the pelvis forward, round out through the back here, the upper spine. Little space between the shoulder blades as we make that cat shape. And then inhale, come up. Draw the belly down toward the floor, collarbone spread, maybe look up at the ceiling, or maybe just looking kind of more straight ahead at the mat, the top of your mat. Exhale, round out, find that cat pose again. Inhale, come up, find cow. Exhale, round out, find that cat pose. And one more time, find cow. One more time, find cat. Beautiful. And come back to center. Maybe you want to shake that out a little bit. Perfect. Move any props that you might have off the mat here. I have to move my timer off to the side. Walk the hands out, a couple of palm lengths in front. And we're setting up here for our dragon pose, our first dragon pose of our practice. So we're going to extend out through the right leg here. So really engaging through the core muscles. The pelvic floor is lifted. Navel's drawn in toward the spine. Almost like core is active, which it is. Navel's drawn in toward the spine. We'll take a deep breath in, and this movement is coming from the core, okay? So we're drawing the leg in and then bringing the foot all the way up to the top of the mat. If you need to help the foot along, that's okay. From here, the hands will come to the inside of the right foot. You're welcome to stay up on the hands like so, or if you have a prop handy and you want to place the hands on a prop, you can, or if you want to come down onto the forearms, you can. Just keeping in mind that we will be in this shape for 3 minutes. Now, rules of yin. Find your sweet spot, stay a while, okay? So your sweet spot is any spot that does not feel like it's pinching, pulling, anything that just feels like this is so unbelievably uncomfortable, okay? If it's like so uncomfortable, you can back up a little bit, come out of the pose a little bit. You know, there's ways to help yourself a little bit here. Maybe take some of that intensity out, okay? So this shape works with the pathways of decision and direction. If it's helpful, I know this pose can be somewhat challenging. So if it's helpful, you know, draw the awareness to the space between the eyes during this practice. Longer hold. And draw the breath up to the space between the eyes. And you may just ask your body for clarity. Just knowing that if we're working with the pathways of decision and direction, what do you need to see more clearly? So if you're linking the breath with the movement, let's go ahead and heel toe the foot toward the center of the mat. So now we're framing the foot. You can make these little spider fingers. And then we're going to slowly just rock back. So straightening out through the right leg. Feels kind of nice, yeah, on that left hip crease. And you're welcome to just stay put here for a couple of breaths. You can keep the toes planted on the mat if you'd like, or you can bring them up. It's up to you, or maybe you want to play around with both for just a couple of breaths. Perfect. From here, we'll come back into our lunge position and continue heel toeing the right foot across the mat till we end up in this pigeon or swan, as it's known in yin. So here's where you might like some extra support, okay? Some people will take a folded up blanket or a cushion or a pillow from their couch and place it under the hip, okay? That can be nice. If you don't have any props, that's all right. All you gotta do is bring the foot in closer toward your hip crease, all right? That will take out some of that intensity on the hip. If you want more intensity, then you can bring the shin so that it's more parallel with the top of the mat. And boy, oh boy, you will feel that. All right, so from here, you're welcome to stay upright the entire time. If you want, you can also start folding over the top of your leg. Again, you're invited into the pose with Yin. You find your sweet spot, and then you stay a while. So this shape works with how the body digests experience. So we're getting into the liver meridian line with this one. How the body digests experience. You might notice that as the longer you stay in a pose, the further the body will invite you in. So just be with that and listen. And as the body says, okay, you know, you can come in a little deeper, and you can respond accordingly. Linking the breath with the movement, and you are in sleeping swan, I invite you to take a deep breath in with me and exhale, gently bring the torso up. And we're going to tuck the toes on the left foot and then send the right leg back to meet the left here. We're just coming into this down dog for a couple of breaths, just allowing the blood flow to find its way back down toward the feet and the ankles. If you don't want to do down dog, feel free to come down onto your knees and just do any kind of movement here that feels good and organic to you and your body today. And when you feel ready, just finding your stopping point and finding your way back down into this, I don't know, somewhat kind of a tabletop pose with the hands out a bit further away from you. So we're going to set up for this low lunge or dragon pose on the left leg. So first tuning into the core, all right? So again, pelvic floor lifts, navel draws in toward the spine. We'll send the left leg back behind and then bring the left foot up to the top of the mat. You may, again, need to help the foot along, and that's okay. So the hands are on the inside of the left foot this time. I'm setting our timer here. Maybe. Beautiful. So this side might look and feel different than the right side did, and that's okay. You're going to work with where you are, what feels right to you, what feels organic. Just allow the sensation to inform you rather than forcing clarity. If you ever want to take this just a smidge deeper, you can kind of walk the toes out about to a 45-degree angle and then kind of allow the edge of the foot to, kind of allow the leg to come out to the edge of the foot. So you're like, it's like an open wing dragon is basically what that is. You can come down onto your forearms. You can always push the knee out too a little bit as well. Again, if that's a part of your practice, please don't do anything that you're not quite ready for yet, okay? Just like we're not going to force clarity, we're not going to force the body into shapes that it's not quite ready for. On your forearms or in a deeper dragon pose, feel free to come up onto the hand. You can heel toe the foot to the center of your mat and rock back, straighten out through the left leg. Either keep the toes planted or bring them up and just feel that nice little reprieve on the right hip crease. You can play around with the toes there, whatever you want to do, the foot, whatever feels good to you is the right thing. Perfect. And then come forward into this lunge pose, and we'll heel toe the left foot across the mat and set up for swan now on the left side. So again, choosing whatever form of swan pose feels right for you today. So whether that's with props, without props, leg closer into the hip crease or not, or foot closer in to the hip crease or not, it is up to you. Again, finding the shape, finding your sweet spot, and then staying a while. So if you want to stay upright, stay upright. If you would like to fold over the top of your leg, you may do so. But we'll take a deep breath in here and then exhale. So just let the body show you what feels sustainable here. Let's take a deep breath in together. If you are in sleeping swan, we'll exhale slowly, come up out of your sleeping position. And we'll exhale, just lean to the left and bring the right leg out in front. Oh my gosh, kind of shake both legs out here for a moment. I'm going to turn to face you as we set up for straddle pose. So we're going to do straddle pose somewhat differently here. And I kind of want to show with props and without. Of course, you don't have to use anything. If you find that you do want some props, it can be helpful, especially to sit maybe like on the edge of something, a bolster or a cushion, or even the blanket. As you can see, sitting on the edge of this blanket, my hips kind of tilt forward, my spine elongates a little bit more. And then, I can find that like I can spread my legs just a little bit wider. So it's an option if you want that option. I'm not saying you have to by any means, but if you want it, it's available. Otherwise, you can always bring the legs in closer. You don't have to spread them super wide. You can always put a little bend in the knees as well, okay? Don't ever feel like you have to do it one way. There's always multiple ways to do things. Such is life. All right, so we'll start with legs however far you want them open wide, and knees bent or not, or using some sort of something, to sit on or not. I'm going to set my little timer here for us. We'll sit up tall on the inhale, and then the degree to which you fold down the center line is going to be completely up to you. You may not want to fold down the center line at all. You may not go very far at all, like myself, okay? Again, it's not a competition. It's truly just about healing. This is just about getting in touch with what's going on within, right? So finding that sweet spot for you. I'm going to go just a smidge deeper because I feel like I can. And pausing there. And then you stay for a while. So down the center line, we are getting into the liver meridian line. This shape reflects Brigid's hearth. It's a place of incubation. And as mentioned previously, the liver meridian is associated with vision and long-term direction. So rather than forcing clarity, again, we're letting the body form the vision. And we're allowing insight to form in its own time. You don't have to do anything here but breathe. Breathe and listen, that's it. So we're going to take a deep breath in here, and then exhale, gently come up, keeping the spine elongated, and then turning with the spine. So keeping the hips right where they are, and we're just turning over to the right side. You can do the left if you wanted to first, it really doesn't matter. Sorry, starting my timer here again. We're going to exhale and fold over the right leg. So now we're getting into the gallbladder meridian. And again, sweet spot, okay? Not a competition. Certainly not a close one for me. So we're just here for now, okay? And as we fold to the side, we stimulate the gallbladder, as I mentioned, which is linked to discernment and decision making. So Brigid's fire clarifies what is worth acting on. And so this is that shape that allows us to clarify that for ourselves. What is worth acting on? So let's take a deep breath in here, and we'll exhale, come back up to the center. And we'll take another deep breath in and exhale right back down through the center line. So another 1.5 minutes. So total of 3 minutes center, and then 1.5 minutes on both sides. We'll get to the left side here in a moment. It's coming back into that space of insight forming in its own time. Tending to that place of incubation, our inner hearth. Let's take a deep breath in, exhale, walk the hands back, come back to center. Turn now over toward the left leg and foot. And as you exhale, fold over, maybe grab for the ankle, calf, wherever you can here. You might want to flex the foot, you might want to point the toes, it's up to you. I'm going to set our timer. We're coming back into that energy where Brigid's fire clarifies what's worth acting on. So we're releasing anything that's not in alignment with where we're headed, with the direction that we're headed in life. You can leave that here on your mat today. One more deep breath in, and then exhale. Just use the hands or the fingertips to just guide your torso back up. Come back to the center. Maybe you want to use the hands to also bring the legs together, almost like you're closing a book. Let's lean back onto the hands and then do this gentle windshield wiper motion with the knees. Sorry if I get loud in the microphone, I don't mean to. Let me make sure my battery is still good as well. Okay, good. And we're all going to find our way down onto our backs. Perfect. Make sure you can still see me here. All right. So let's actually begin here with the soles of the feet planted. I understand that the low back might feel a little bit tender, especially after doing the straddle pose that we just did. So you might still want to do that windshield wiper motion with the knees, or you might want to bring the knees into the chest and give yourself a little hug. And from here, let's go ahead and grab hold of the right knee with both hands, and then bring either the left leg out long in front, or you can bring the sole of the foot down onto the mat of the left foot. And just keep hugging and squeezing that right knee in. Perfect. Now keeping hold of the right knee with the left hand, the right hand or arm can come out behind you in either a half T position or a goalpost arm. I'm going to do goalpost arm because I have a wall behind me. And then slowly bring the right leg over toward the left side of the space. You can keep hold of the right knee with the left hand if you would like. That will help deepen the twist. You can look over the right shoulder. You can look up at the ceiling. You can look in the direction of the knee if that's helpful. If you'd like a little support underneath that, the right knee, you can place a bolster or a pillow or a block or a stack of books under the leg, under the foot, whatever's helpful for you. If you want a little extra oomph in this pose, you can grab hold of the left foot with the right hand. It's cat pulling its tail, as it's known in Yin. And that just kind of adds a little extra sauce to this pose. Again, find what works for you today. We will not be here a super long time, but we will be here for 3 minutes. So finding the shape that best supports you today, of course, is what's always the right answer. And this shape does work with the pathways of release. So if you've done Yin with me in the past, you already know that this is, a good pose for digestion. But we're also, if you think about your organs of digestion right now, they're kind of in that twisting, they're getting massaged, for lack of better words. So we're releasing a lot of maybe stagnant energy. If you're holding on to any feelings of anxiety, for some reason I'm seeing that in my mind's eye as I'm saying this. This could be a great release as well for that. Anything you're having a hard time digesting doesn't have to be food. It can be experiences as well. You might find that while in this pose, your stomach may make some noise like mine. So if you hear that, I apologize. We'll take a deep breath in. Exhale slowly. Come back to the center of your mat. Do any sort of movement that feels good to you, whether that be this little movement here with your knees, or maybe you want to draw circles on the ceiling, or give yourself a little hug again. This time, bring the left knee into hug your left knee in. That's what I meant to say. Maybe you want to bring the right sole of your right foot, my goodness, down to the mat, or bring the leg out straight. And breathe here for just a few breaths. Breathe here for just a few breaths. That sounds good. Perfect. Now, keeping hold of the left knee with the right hand, the left arm's gonna come out either to T or goalpost arm, and we'll bring the left knee over toward the right side of the space. I kind of had to move over a little. And then of course, if you need that support underneath the left knee, please take it. And if you want to reach for the right foot with the left hand, do that little cat pulling its tail. So nice. You can. Of course, you don't have to. So we're just allowing the body to integrate what's already been explored. Setting my timer for us. Just take a deep breath in here and exhale very slowly and come back to the center. Do whatever kind of movement you need here. Maybe that's that windshield wiper motion. Maybe it's something else entirely. Find what works for you before coming down flat on your back. We're setting up now for banana asana. So we're creating this banana shape on our mat. This is our last shape before Shavasana. I didn't realize this block was so close to my head. We shouldn't need any props for this particular pose. So we'll begin by walking the feet over toward the left corner of our mat. You're welcome to keep the feet next to each other, or you can place the right ankle on top of the left, or the right foot on top of the left. And then you're gonna just curve the upper torso in toward your feet, like so. From here, the arms can come up, or you can bring them down alongside your body. But your back stays flat on your mat. So we're not like this. You're still flat on your back. You're just curving your torso down toward your feet. I hope that makes sense. And then you get to decide what you want to do with your arms from here. If the arms are up, you'll notice the sensation from the right pinky, perhaps all the way down through the right side body, through the intercostal muscles. Sorry if I'm shouting into the mic, I don't mean to be. All the way down to the top of the right hip. And so we are getting into the lung meridian lines, of course. You may have already noticed. However, this shape reflects Brigid's vision taking shape through steady expansion. So you might feel that expansion through that side body. Even with the arms down, you can still feel that here, the sensation along the rib cage. And I invite you just to bring your eyes closed. And if it's helpful, maybe even allowing the vision of yourself as that future you taking shape in your mind's eye, just for the next few moments. Take one more deep breath in here. We'll exhale. Gently bring yourself back to the center. Maybe uncross your ankles if they were crossed. If you need to do any kind of movement here, feel free. Before we set up to do banana asana on the opposite side. So feet will now go to the right corner, and then we'll curve the torso down toward your feet. Banana asana on the opposite side. Now feeling that expansion on the left side of your body. And just letting that awareness spread through the body of everything that we've let go of through this practice. Everything that the body has either consciously or subtly informed you of throughout our time together. Every shape that you've taken, and just the awareness, whether you realize it or not, whether it's conscious or not, that you've let go of any blockages that may have been standing between you and your clarity, between you and next steps. Between you and your inner spark. let's take one more deep breath in here. Exhale, come back to the center of your mat. And you can do any sort of movement that you need or feel like you need before making your way into Shavasana, our final pose of rest. So maybe you need to pause the video and come back, or perhaps you feel ready to go. I am going to just put a little blanket on because it's slightly chilly. I turned off my heater because I didn't want any background noise, and I'm like, I maybe should have worn a longer shirt. So I'm gonna just put this on. I will be reading a little bit from this here before we close out our practice. I'm gonna just guide us into a little bit of a Shavasana. We won't be here for a super long time. Now, if you find that you'd like to stay in yours longer than the time that I've allotted here, by all means, please do. That said, whenever you're ready, you're gonna find your way into the Shavasana of your choice. Maybe you want a little support behind the knees, behind the head. I invite you to get as comfortable as possible. Maybe shake out the body a little bit. Tilt the chin down toward the chest and elongate through the back of the neck. And just feel the weight of gravity holding you. Maybe a deep sigh out through the mouth. Just letting go of any tension in the forehead and in the jaw. Letting go of any tension in the low back, the shoulder, neck area. Softening through the elbow joints, the wrists, the knees, the glutes. The arches of the feet, the ball mounts, the toes, the back of the head. What would your Shavasana look like if you didn't have to force rest? inspiration and imagination are yours to play with right now. You effortlessly connect to your inner creative spark and make meaningful and beautiful experiences for yourself and others. Take advantage of this fruitful time. When you are so in tune, it's like taking a magical trip to the land of the fairy, where all that glitters really is gold, and your life seems like a grand artistic adventure. The fiery Celtic goddess of creativity calls you to play in the artistry of your life, your work, and your loves. Brigid is whispering her sparkling music deep in your soul. Are you listening? So if you'd like to stay here longer, of course, please do. If you would like to start coming out of your Shavasana of choice, you can begin by just bringing the awareness first to your body, maybe the breath, and deepening the breath, and then bringing some movement into the fingers and the toes. And then the hands and the feet. And then maybe a full body stretch. And then turning over onto your left or your right hand side and using the bottom arm as a pillow. And just honoring the fetal position for a couple of breaths. This energy of newness, the direction of the east, the rising sun. You are already a different person than you were before the start of this practice. And gently make your way up to a seated posture. Thank you so much for joining me today. I'm wishing you many, many blessings today and always. Namaste.